Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a revision class of projections of straight lines inclined to both the planes. But before I discuss the topic projections of straight lines inclined to both HP and VP, I would like to revise some basic concepts of projections of straight lines inclined to one plane and parallel to the other. As you can see, there are a number of projections drawn here without naming the ends of the straight line. These are all typical examples of straight lines inclined to one plane and parallel to the other. As you can see, in all these 5 views, one of the views is seen inclined to the xy line and the other view is parallel. Here, the view which is below xy line is parallel. Here, the view above xy line is parallel and the view below xy line is inclined. Here, both the views are above xy line, one of them inclined and one of them parallel. Here, both are below xy line. And here you can see that one of the views is crossing the xy line and definitely one of the views is inclined and the other view is parallel. Suppose if I start naming the ends of these views, you can find out in which quadrant this line is lying, because as we know, if the front view is above xy line and the top view is below xy line, that means it is in the first quadrant. And if both of them are above xy line, the line is lying in the second quadrant. If both of them are below xy line, that tells us the line is in the fourth quadrant. And if one of the views crosses, that means the line is crossing the quadrants, or its ends are lying in two adjacent quadrants. Okay. So suppose if I name this as, suppose our line is AB, in all the cases the lines ends are A and B. So if I write A dash, B dash here and AB here, that means this line is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. Why? Because the front view is seen inclined. When the front view is seen inclined, that inclination, if the line is inclined to only HP and parallel to VP, always theta. And if you can remember, if one of the views is parallel, as the case in all these cases, it is the same, that one of the views is parallel, the other view will be definitely showing true length, the original length of the line. That means in this case, the top view is parallel, the front view shows true length, and that true length line is inclined at some angle. That means this inclination, as the front view makes with xy line, is always represented by theta. And if I name this view as AB and A dash B dash, here the top view is seen inclined, isn't it? The top view is seen inclined. The line's inclination with VP is always seen in the top view, and that is represented by phi. In both these cases, the line is in the first quadrant because the front view is above xy line. In both these cases, the front view is above xy line and the top view is below xy line. But here the front view is seen inclined, therefore the line is inclined to HP. Here the top view is seen inclined with xy line, that means the line is inclined to VP. Please understand, these two are the true inclinations that the line makes with the reference planes HP and VP. And they are always seen together, like true length. If you draw the true length line inclined, along with that the inclination will be always theta. If it is the front view, that means it is theta. And if the same true length is drawn in the top view as inclined, and that inclination will be definitely the inclination with the true inclination with VP, that is phi. And here also let us name it as, say, A dash, B dash and AB. That means here the line is in the second quadrant but inclined at some angle with HP again, because the front view is inclined and the top view is parallel. Suppose if I write AB here and the A dash, B dash here, here the line is completely in the fourth quadrant, and that is the reason it is both the front view and top view are drawn below the xy line. And since the top view is inclined here, this inclination is always phi, and since the other view is parallel, this will be true length. Okay. Why here and here, this is a case of second quadrant and this is a case of fourth quadrant. Why they are crossing each other is just because the end A and end B's distance for HP and VP will decide whether they will be crossing each other or they will be Here you can see that from HP the distance is higher. Okay, the distance from HP is always seen to the front view, isn't it? So A dash, B dash, both are comparatively far away than A and B. I mean the top view, or the distance from VP is lesser than the distance from HP, and therefore they are not crossing each other. But here the things are different. Distance from HP to A is lesser, but distance to B from HP is higher, but the distance from VP to both ends are the same. Okay, so that's the reason, depending upon the distance to the ends from HP and VP, you may get your front views and top views. The appearance may vary like this. Okay, and in this case, as I've already told you, the line is crossing one of the reference planes, or penetrating one of the reference planes, and then its ends are lying in two adjacent quadrants. Here, suppose if I write this as AB and this as A dash B dash, so that means the line is parallel to HP, because the front view is parallel to the XY line and the top view is seen inclined to the XY line. That means this inclination, okay, will be phi. And another thing is that since this top view is crossing the XY line, the line is penetrating VP. Okay, line is penetrating VP, or the lines end A is in the first quadrant and B is in the second quadrant. So the line can have its ends in two different quadrants, but they are near or adjacent quadrants, and the line can be inclined to one reference plane and parallel to the other. Okay, here in this case it is inclined to VP and parallel to HP. If I change this as A dash and this A, that will make this angle theta, isn't it? That way you can. So these are the simple basic concepts of straight lines inclined to one plane and parallel to the other, and will be useful for us to grab the concepts of a straight line inclined to both the planes. So as I've already shown here, as if a line is inclined to one of the reference planes, one view will be seen, or one view will be drawn parallel to the XY line, the other view parallel. One view will be drawn inclined to the XY line, and the other view will be parallel to the XY line. Okay, what happens if both the views are, the line is inclined to both the planes? What will happen? Definitely both the views will be inclined to the XY line. Both the views will be drawn inclined to the XY line, isn't it? Say for this example, this is A dash B dash and this is AB. So here you can see that front view is inclined to the XY line and the top view is also inclined to the XY line. Since there is no parallel view like here, so that means this will not be showing true length and this also will not be showing true length. So we write front view length. The length that is seen in the front view is front view length, and the length that is seen in the top view is top view length. And these are the apparent lengths, since the line is inclined to both HP and VP. In both the front view and top view, we will not be able to see the true length. And here I had told you that when you are able to see the true length, the inclination that true length line makes with XY line will be always a true inclination. But since here this is not true length, though this cannot be theta or this cannot be phi, and these are the apparent inclination, we have named them like alpha and beta. So the view that appears, or the inclination that we see in the projections after the line's projections are drawn, the projections make some angle with the XY line. They are the apparent inclinations. For example, the front view makes an angle with XY line, that is always alpha, and the top view makes an angle with XY line, that is beta. So these are the apparent inclinations, and they come into picture only when a straight line is inclined to both the planes and after the projections have been drawn. After the projections have been drawn, whatever angle that you see that the front view makes with XY line is always alpha, and whatever the angle that the top view makes with XY line is always beta. Okay. How do we make the projections of a straight line inclined to both the planes? The simple step-by-step procedure that we have learned, I'll just discuss. Suppose we have been given a straight line AB, its true length is also given, and its inclination with HP and VP are given, and one of its ends position, that is A's position, is given. So this is a very typical simple question, a straightforward question which we can solve by simply following the procedure. See, please understand, when a straight line is inclined to both the planes, when two inclinations are given, that tells us that the line is inclined to HP as well as VP. Theta and phi both are given to you, and the true length is given, and one end's position is required to fix. Initially we need to fix one of the ends and draw the projections of it, then only we can proceed. Okay, so suppose that means, see, minimum required information, minimum required number of data, the variables that is required for drawing the projections of a straight line inclined to both the planes is always 5 data are required. Like true length is given here, theta is given here, phi is given, so that means 3 other. A's position is given, means A's distance from HP as well as both distance from VP, both are given to you. So that means this 5 data are there. So what we do is, first we fix the point A whose position is given. We draw the projections of this point. Suppose let us imagine that this end A is in the first quadrant, some distance above HP and some distance in front of VP. So we take those distances and then get the front view and top view of that end A. Okay, then what we do is, we have to find out this front view length, we have to find out the alpha, beta and top view length, then only we will be able to draw the projections. Okay, so in order to find out these apparent lengths and apparent inclination, the procedure that we follow is, we initially imagine that the line is inclined to only one plane. Let us imagine that the line is inclined to only HP parallel to VP. Parallel to VP means the top view must be parallel to the XY line. The front view will show the true length and true inclination. The true length is given to us and the true inclination is also given to us. So the inclination that is seen in the front view is always theta, and therefore we take the true length along with theta. Along with theta it must be always true length because this is a true inclination. And then after taking true length here, we write it as, since this is not the final front view, we will not be able to see the true length in the final front view, isn't it? So we name it as, with a subscript, that is B1 dash, and through this we draw a locus line parallel to the XY line, and we write it as locus of B dash. Okay, and corresponding to this B1 dash we get the top view of that is B1. Now what is this AB1? This is the top view length. The line is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. That is the first assumption that we make here. Line is inclined to HP and parallel to VP. So by this assumption, we are able to get two things. One is the line's top view length. After it has become inclined to HP, how much is the top view length that we have found out. And this important important result also we have got, that is nothing but the locus of B dash, because by this locus of B dash we understand that the line's front view of end B will be lying always on this, even if now presently the line is inclined to only HP parallel to VP, but if we make this line inclined to VP also, still the end B's front view will be lying on this locus line. That is the meaning of it. Okay, so we have found out the top view length and the locus of B dash by the first assumption, and in the second assumption we'll be imagining that the line is inclined to only VP. Okay, so inclination with true inclination with VP is phi, and the corresponding front view will be parallel to the XY line. So we can take true length here along phi and we mark it here. Say let this be B2, since this is not the final top view, and through this B2 we draw a locus line, name it as locus of B, and our assumption is line is inclined to only VP parallel to HP. So we draw the corresponding front view. Since this is B2, this will be B2 dash. Okay, So this is the A dash B2 dash is your front view length, and this is the locus of the top view of end B. Now what we have to do is this front view length, okay, A dash is already fixed here. This is the front view length of the line, and the locus of B dash must be on this line. That means this front view must be lying between A dash and this locus of B dash. For that, what we do is we take this front view length as the radius, A dash as the center, and we rotate it to the locus of B dash to get the final front view of B dash, and then join with A dash. Okay, so you get the final front view, isn't it? Final front view of the line AB. Okay. Okay, once you have got the final front view of B as B dash, it is mandatory that the top view of the corresponding top view of B dash will be lying on a projector drawn perpendicular to the XY line, and the locus of B is already here. So that means this point will be the top view of B, and simply join with A to get the final top view of the line. And the other ways also, as we have rotated this front view to this locus of B dash, we can also rotate the top view of this line, top view length of this line, taking this as the center and the top view length as the radius. You can rotate this, that will be exactly coming to this point. Okay, so simply darken the final front view and final top view. So this is the procedure, the simple step-by-step procedure to get the projections of a straight line inclined to both HP and VP, provided you have been given what all this data, 5 data, that is the true length of the line, the inclination of the line with HP, the inclination of the line with VP, and one end's position, end A's position or end B's position, whichever end's position is given. With that, we will be able to simply follow this procedure and draw the front view and top view of a straight line inclined to both. This straight line is, as you can see, is clearly in the first quadrant, because the front view is above XY line and the top view is drawn below XY line. And now you can mark the inclinations alpha and beta here. Alpha is the angle that the front view makes with XY line, that is alpha, and the angle that the top view makes with XY line is always the beta. Okay, so these are the apparent inclinations of the line, and they will be available only after the projections are completed and the final front view and top view are drawn. And alpha is with the front view length and beta is with the top view length, isn't it? And true length, along with true length, you have theta in the front view and phi in the top view. So all these data you have to remember. This is a typical general typical example of a straight line inclined to both the planes. Okay, now instead of giving you these data like a line's true length, inclination with HP, inclination with VP, and one end's position, all these data can be changed so that a varieties of questions can be formed. Okay, and another possibility is that since this line is completely in the first quadrant, we can also imagine that this line is in some other quadrant, like it is complete in third quadrant or second quadrant. Okay, suppose if it is completely in the second quadrant, a typical example of such a line can be like this. So here you have both front view and top view inclined to the XY line. This angle will be always, as I told you, the top view makes beta angle with XY line and the front view makes alpha with XY line. And since both the views are lying above XY line, so this is a typical example of a straight line inclined to both the planes but lying in the second quadrant. Okay, if both are drawn below the XY line, so that will be like, say, suppose I draw the front view and top view of a straight line like this. Okay, say A dash, B dash, and this is A and this is B. So what does this tell me? that the line is inclined to both HP and VP, because both the views are seen inclined to the XY line. And since both the views are drawn below XY line, that means this line is in the fourth quadrant. Okay, here again I can mark the angles like this is beta and this is alpha. This is the front view length of the line and this is the top view length of the line. Okay, I can also have a straight lines projections like this, say crossing each other like this. Okay, for example, this is, say, the front view of the line A dash B dash, and this is the top view of the line. A dash is here, so that means A is here, and this is B. So this is my front view and this is my top view. Here the line is again inclined to both HP and VP. The front view's inclination is again alpha and the top view's inclination with XY line is always beta. But the end A, its top view is above XY line and the front view is below XY line. That means the line's end A is in the third quadrant and end B is in the first quadrant. So B is in the first quadrant, A is in the third quadrant. That means as you can see, suppose we draw the quadrants here like this. Okay, the quadrant system with HP and VP. One end of the line, that is B, is in the first quadrant, and the lines, the other end, it goes like this, goes to the second quadrant and then goes like this, and this is the end A. So end A is in the third quadrant and end B is in the first quadrant. Okay, so such lines are also possible which occupies one completely only contained in one quadrant, or hence are in two quadrants, adjacent quadrants, or occupying three quadrants like this. Some part of the line is in the first quadrant, yet some other part is in the second quadrant, and the last part is in the third quadrant. Such positioning of the line is also possible. Okay, so how do we locate the traces of a straight line inclined to both the planes? I'll tell you the procedure how to locate the traces. Suppose we have a straight line inclined to HP and VP, and the line is in the first quadrant. Okay, like this. This is how the line is. This is the front view A dash B dash, and this is the top view AB. Okay, and here again I write alpha, and this is because for you to remember, this is the front view length. Of course, while drawing the projections, you need not write all this. This is only for you to understand. So traces are nothing but the points where the lines meet the reference planes. The points where the lines meet with the reference planes. So since the line is inclined to both the planes here, by extending the line, you can make it intersect or penetrate or touch a particular reference plane. That touching point is nothing but the trace. So to find out the traces, what we do is, after drawing your projections, the front view has to be extended. Okay, the front view has to be extended till it comes and meets the XY line. That point is named as H dash, which is the front view of HT. Okay, and then from H dash you draw a line perpendicular to the XY line. So before you draw the line perpendicular to the XY line, you have to see where the top view extended comes. Okay, the top view extended is coming like this. That means you have to draw from H dash, you have to draw a perpendicular to the XY line to the top. Okay, upwards, so that this point is your HT. Okay, so this point where the front view came and met with the XY line is named as H dash, and from H dash I have drawn a line perpendicular to the XY line so that the top view extended will meet that perpendicular at this particular point, and that is HT. And similarly, wherever your top view crosses the xy line, or when the top view is extended, it will be meeting the xy line here, and that point is going to be named as V, small letter V. From V you can draw a perpendicular to the other view, that is, since you have drawn top view to get this V, you can draw a line perpendicular to the xy line from V to get the VT. Okay. So depending upon how the line's ends are positioned with respect to your HP and VP, suppose you have a straight line projections like this. Okay. Suppose the lines projections are drawn like this. Suppose let us take this as, say, let me name as this as the PQ and this as the P dash Q dash. The line is in the third quadrant completely because the top view is drawn above xy line and the front view is below. And here if you want to locate the traces, here again what you do is you extend your front view to meet the xy line. So that point will be again, as I've told you, h dash. From h dash you have to draw a perpendicular to the xy line so that the top view extended will be meeting with this perpendicular. Okay, so what you do is draw a perpendicular from h dash so that to the extended line of the other view. So both of them will be meeting here. So this will be your HT. And similarly, here we have already found out HT. So now you have to extend your top view so that it comes and meets here, meets the xy line here. So this will be your V, small letter V. Okay. And from there you can draw a perpendicular to, so that the other view extended, that the front view extended will be coming and meeting the perpendicular here. So this is your VT. So depending upon how the line is positioned or how the line's ends are lying in the same quadrant or in different quadrants, you may get your HT and VT at different places. Here you have got both HT and VT at one place, HT above xy line and the VT also above xy line. Here you have got VT to the left side of your front view and top view and HT to the right side, and HT is above xy line and the VT is. It all depends upon how the line is positioned with respect to your reference planes and how they are inclined and in which quadrants they lie. So accordingly your traces location also will vary. Okay, is that clear, this much? So let us stop here and we will continue discussing the different varieties of questions on projections of straight lines. Thank you.